How's it going? I'm Zac Huxford. We're going to run through a couple things. First thing we're going to start out with though is we're going to get warmed up, kind of get moving. You know, even if you're doing a practice at home, last thing you want to do is go in there cold. So we're going to loosen up a little bit. The one thing that I really like, no matter what practice I'm going into, whether it was when I was competing or when I was coaching, I like moving around, I like rolling around. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go nice and easy. We're just going to go back and forth, rocking on our back. Loosen up our shoulders, loosen up our lower back. Feel nice and good here. Take a little time to stop, touch your toes over the mat, come back, nice and slow. Once we start feeling pretty good here, we can go all the way through, to our knees. All the way through to our knees. And we go back forward. All the way through to our knees. Stretch out. All the way forward. We want to take advantage as much as possible. It's all the motion that we're going here. Roll back. Stretch out those quads, the front of my legs. I want to get nice and loose here. I want to feel nice and good. Stretch. Feeling tight. Sitting for a couple days will do that to you. Roll back and forth. All right. Once we get that, we're going to step up to our feet and we're going to start putting a little weight on our shoulders. I'm actually going to steal one from Coach Theobald. We're going cartwheels. We're just going to go back and forth. Keeping that weight on our hands. Keeping that weight on our hands. They don't have to be pretty. We just got to keep that weight on our shoulders. Try and go both sides here. Try and go both sides. Once we're getting back and forth, right, you're feeling a little loose, those shoulders are feeling a little good. What I really want to do is I want to stretch out my core. Now this is actually, I call it an inchworm. Something I picked up when I was in college. It's a great stretch for our shoulders, our core, pretty much our whole body, but it's also a really good workout. So we're going to use this right now as a warm-up, but it's something that you can kind of wrap up into whatever you're doing with your crunches, your push-ups, anything else you're doing at home. So what I'm going to do is I'm keeping my feet straight, flat, and I'm going to keep my legs completely straight. I don't want any bend in my knee, all right? The goal of this over time is to get to the point where my legs are straight and I can put my hands down flat on the mat. So my feet are flat, legs are straight, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my hands out. For me, I'm not very flexible, so I can't go too close to my feet. But all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to walk my hands out as far as I can. As far as I can. Get a nice stretch out. And walk it back. Keeping my legs straight. You'll feel a nice stretch back behind your legs as you get closer. For you young guys, you should be trying to get back as close as possible to your feet. Keeping those legs straight. Once I go back, walk it out again. Coming back in. Get a couple of these in. I like to do at least 10. If you're feeling real good, go 15 or 20. That's going to loosen up a lot of your shoulders. It's going to get that whole part behind your legs, your hammies. You're going to feel that a little bit in your calves. It's a really, really good stretch. And on top of that, great for your core, great for your abs, and it's a really, really just good stretch altogether. So once you're there, you should be starting to feel a little bit better, start moving a little bit. And it's always important, I think it's always a good idea to add in a little bit of stance motion. Now, if you're at home, you don't have a partner, you don't have someone that you can work out with, grab mom, grab dad, grab your sisters, your brothers, grab somebody, have them to kind of throw stuff at you, all right? If you can't really think of it in your head, you want someone to keep you on your feet. Just get in your stance and have someone shout at you, give you a couple circle right, little circle left, down block. Just a lot of motion, a lot of motion. You know, what I always like to do, no matter if I'm running a practice or if I'm suggesting to people, when you do your foot motion, when you're doing your stance motion, make sure you do like 3 periods. Make it a match. Put it together. Do 2, 2, 2. 2 minutes, the first 2 minutes, go nice and easy. Just motion, just moving, right? Lower your level. Couple jukes. That second period, things start picking up. Things start picking up. You want to get a couple steps. You want to start reaching for those legs. That guy's looking to get your legs. Get moving. Third period, you got to go. You got to score. So lots of motion, lots of push. You should be dripping after 3 periods. 3 periods, you should be feeling real good, really, really warmed up and ready to go. So what we're going to do, the first little thing we're going to do, this one we're going to need a partner. And I trust that you're not going to have too much trouble finding someone in your house that's going to be willing to hit you with a stick. So what we're going to do, the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a down block drill. So you will have to have somebody with you. I chose a broomstick. Anything that's long works. And all I'm going to do with my partner is I'm just going to pick sides. We're going to go back and forth. All right? This doesn't have to be crazy fast. This doesn't have to be hard. I'm not whacking this dude in the leg with a stick. All I'm going to be doing is I'm going to tap the leg, and he's going to down block that side, circle away, making sure he's moving his feet. I don't want any feet planted. So I'm going to come here, I touch that leg, Kale's going to down block, circle away. I go there, down block, circle away. Every time you go, make sure that you get back to center space, right? Because we're only going to have a little bit of room to work with. You might be kind of in your living room or something like that. Make sure you circle back, you have enough room. The key to this right now, the most important thing that you want to do is get down your timing. Kale's got to be able to react, and as soon as I get there, he gets that leg back and his hands down. He gets his feet moving. The last thing that what I really don't want Kale to do is if I touch this leg, I don't want this foot to stay still. If I go here and Kale down blocks and keeps that foot there, he's unbalanced, he's giving up a takedown. He's going to get scored on there. So this is just good practice in general. So I come here, he down blocks and circles away. Comes back. Circles back. I can mess with him. Go the same way again. And notice every time we're getting back to home base. Every time we get back to home base. So Kale's feet haven't stopped moving that entire time. I touch that knee, he circles out, he comes right back. It's keeping that motion, keeping your feet moving the whole time. So to add to that, we have another little thing we can do. Now, depending on where you're at is going to kind of depend on how far you're sprawling down. You know, we're fortunate at the moment that we're able to get on this mat, but you might be out on the dirt. You might be in the living room, dining room, kitchen, wherever this happens. All right. So just kind of be conscious where you're going. I don't want to see anybody bouncing any knees off of any tile or anything like that. So same thing as before. I'm using this stick to kind of direct where I want him to look that I'm shooting, right? So what I'm going to do is instead of touching those knees this time, I'm reaching out and I'm touching his feet. I'm trying to touch his feet. And what Kale's going to do is he's sprawling that leg back and getting that out of the way. But same thing as before. He's getting back to home base. He's staying in good position. He's keeping his motion this whole time. All right? So just a couple times nice and slow. I reach out to touch this one. So he gets that back and he gets back to his middle. Gets out to home base. I touch this leg. That leg goes back, sprawls back, and he's up there. Now listen, if we can't sprawl on our knees, get those legs back, don't touch your knees and circle up. So I reach out to Kale's toe, puts his hand down, he circles up. Get those legs back, circle out, all right? If I can sprawl, sprawl. Getting back to home base. Again, this is all timing. This is all getting used to. When someone shoots, what your reaction is. It's getting yourself in a good position. Every time Kale goes, his head's coming back up. He's getting right back up to his stance. Right back in. Going forward. Not backing up. Sprawls, gets away, come back forward. Looking for that attack. Looking to go right back on the offense, all right? So it's something that's really, really important, making sure that you do that. So that's what we're just going to kind of cut it there for our warm-up, getting ready. We're going to come right back with some technique. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a burnout exercise. Get that core and those shoulders burning a little bit, get a good workout, work on conditioning our muscles as much as possible. This is actually a little bit of a throwback to when I was younger doing Jersey Shore practices. This is something we did at the end of practice all the time. We call it PTA, pain, torture, agony. This is my little twist on it. So pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a partner. All right, we're gonna do this back and forth. You don't need a partner. You can do this by yourself. But it is nice if you have someone that wants to get a workout in. It's nice to have that person over there. You kind of make it a little bit of a game, make it a little bit of a challenge. See who's gonna break first. See who's the toughest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do ladders on our push-ups, and we're gonna combine them with shoulder presses. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna go back and forth. So Kale's gonna start. He's gonna do his push-ups. And while I'm waiting for Kale to do his push-ups and shoulder presses, I'm going to be in a full body plank. All right? So just to give you a little bit of an idea, my plank should be like this. Elbows down, head up, back straight. All right? I should be keeping this the whole time that he's doing his push-ups and his shoulder press. The longer we do this, the more we're going to get a burn. So now just a couple things when we do our push-ups. We got to make sure that we're doing good push-ups. We're not doing this to try and get done as fast as possible, all right? So I want to make sure when I do my push-ups, my body's straight, my head's up, I'm going down, I'm touching my chest, and I'm coming up. Head straight, body straight, chest goes down, touches, and I come up. It doesn't have to be fast, all right? In fact, the slower you can do it, the better this workout gets, because it's going to start burning in your biceps, triceps, your shoulders. You're going to start getting a little bit of burn there, all right? The second part to that one is our shoulder press. Shoulder press, same thing. I got to make sure that I'm using this as much as I can. I want to keep my shoulders at 90. I never want to go further. And I want to make sure I go nice and slow up. Nice and slow down. Nice and slow up. Nice and slow down. All right? So what happens is Kale's going to go. He's going to do his 10 push-ups. He's going to do his 10 shoulder presses, and I'm going to be in my plank. When he's done and he goes to his plank, it's my turn. And what we're going to do is we're going to do ladders. Your first one is 10, your second one is 9, third one is 8, so on and so forth, all the way down. Now, if you want to have a really big challenge, you really want to challenge yourself, you go all the way down, and then you go all the way back up. And I'll give you anybody credit that goes and does that. That's a pretty tough one. All right. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, we'll do the first couple sets here to give you an idea. So Kale's going to start off with his push-ups. I'm going to start off with my plank, and we're going. So we're having good push-ups, right? Head up. Our chest is going all the way down the mat. We're using this opportunity to get as much of a burn as we possibly can. Add the plank. I'm flexing my core. I'm nice and tight. Keeping my head up. I don't want to let my body sag. I want to be in control this whole time. Control your body. Now this is a lot of fun. You're going to be laughing in your first couple sets. Once you get to 7, 6, whew, this gets a little rough. So Kale switches. He's done. So it's my turn. I get my push-ups in. I'm going to roll right up to my shoulder presses. Getting my 10. 1, 2, 3. Whew. And that's a good burn already. I only did 10 and my shoulders are burning already. And like I said, you want to make sure that you're not doing this for speed. You're doing this for the burn. So take your time. When you're doing your push-ups, when you're doing your shoulder presses, when you're doing all that stuff, make sure that you're taking your time. With your planks, control your body. In wrestling, one of the biggest things that you can learn how to do is control your body. It makes a big part of the sport. So the more that you can control your body when things are getting a little tough, the better. We're going to come back at you with a little bit more in a bit. Hey guys, I wanted to just take a couple minutes at the end of this to talk to you a little bit about, kind of your next steps and next things that I think are really important and everybody should start thinking about. I know, coming into club talking to a lot of guys. I really like to preach, especially in the last couple of years, going out and trying freestyle, giving it a shot. And, at the moment, a lot of us have a little bit of time on our hands just to sit back and think about what our goals are, what we want to accomplish next year, what we want to improve on, what we need to do. And I really, really want to push the freestyle. I can speak personally that when I decided to jump into it, I was absolutely terrible at it. And by the time I was pretty good at, it was a lot of fun. But more than that, I learned a lot. There's a lot of little details, little techniques that transfer from freestyle to your scholastic, and it makes a huge difference. Going from my sophomore year to my junior year, I made huge jumps, and I attributed a lot of that to competing and going and wrestling in freestyle. Even more than that, I think for a lot of us, that go out there and the only sport that we really compete in is wrestling. It can be a little bit of a grind, and it kind of stinks that maybe you can't get into another sport. Freestyle can be your other sport. To go give it a shot. So what I really, really would encourage you to do during this time when you're sitting at home, you guys are all really lucky. YouTube has a tremendous amount of wrestling on it. Go online and Google freestyle wrestling. Go on YouTube, search freestyle wrestling. Go watch matches. Go watch guys that you kind of know. Everybody should have an idea of who Cale Sanderson and who Tom and Terry Brands are. Go watch David Taylor, Kyle Dake. Go watch those guys scrapping freestyle and get into it. The biggest thing that I always hear from guys that when they don't want to do freestyles, they don't know the rules, they don't know how to do it. Right now is a perfect time to kind of get a little bit of a grasp on it, to learn a little bit. And to get ready, so when you get back in the room, when we can get back to scrapping, you're ready to go. And the next thing that we're actually going to do here is Coach Morello is going to come in. He's going to talk to you a little bit about freestyle. So hopefully this kind of gets you amped up, gets you ready to go, and start taking notes on what Coach Rob's talking about.